Second Temple heat of the morning, D.S.R. Laga against Oxford Brookes University. Laga on the Berks station. Oxford Brookes on the Buck station, just coming under starters' orders.
Ready, I'll start you like this. Attention, go. Get ready, please.
One Olympic champion replaced by another. I'll introduce you in a moment. First of all, let's concentrate on the start of this race. Race 6 on the card.
Go.
Underway. D.S.R. Laga from the Netherlands against Oxford Brookes University on the Buck station. Another local rivalry against international here. Local boat in Oxford Brookes and the international competitors from D.S.R. Laga. So, one Olympic champion swapped by another. Mark Hunter has made way for Greg Searle. Greg, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tim. It's good to be here watching these eights going off in the Temple. Interesting steering here from the Oxford Brookes crew. See how they've been pushed away from the island. They're just coming down into the buoyed area, but this is a great looking race, isn't it? Completely neck and neck.
We've already observed that in a couple of the previous races, that some of the steering as you get past Temple Island and between the booms, that's clearly the nerve-wracking stage of the race.
Yeah, the nerve-wracking stage is as you come out of the top of the island, just as the crews did there. The crew on this Buck station, Oxford Brookes in this case, have got pushed towards the centre of the river, and then they've got to make sure they get into position so they're not hitting those wooden booms. But interesting to see Laga here really moving well as they come out here out towards that quarter mile, coming up through, just about a minute gone, settling into their pace, and they've moved pretty strongly as the barman there and the Oxford Brookes crew has a look over his shoulder and thinks this is not going the way he wants it to.
No, already a length up early on in the race. The Dutch crew, one of the top Dutch rowing clubs in the country, student-based clubs, TSRV Laga of Holland.
That's right, yeah. The Temple Cup here is for students from a single college. We see the Laga crew now as they're coming down towards the barrier, just looking to get a little bit of clear water. And we see them looking very good there for a crew in the Temple, like you say, could be one of the strongest. Interesting to see the Cox steering right over there by those booms on the stroke side, making sure she gets every possible advantage as she gets out here, taking her crew through the barrier. Taking a look here now in on Oxford Brookes.
Yeah, D.S.R. Laga quarter-finals. I know disappointed with that in the Temple Challenge Cup last year, Henley Royal Regatta 2014. But before that, 2013 winners of the Temple. So they'll want to try and get back to winning ways in this particular contest. And what better way to do it than an opening round victory over Oxford Brookes University.
Yeah, this is Oxford Brookes C, I guess we've got to bear in mind, because Oxford Brookes always pretty strong in the Temple. And these guys will have been really up for this one. They'll know they're up against it as an Oxford Brookes crew. I know what they're like. Their training system there with Richard Spratley works them pretty hard all through the winter. And I know they'll have worked so hard, but they'll feel like it's a pretty tough draw to come up against this Laga crew quite so early in the Henley adventure.
Definitely a tough draw made at the Town Hall at 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, traditionally. And they may have thought they were easier first round opponents, Oxford Brookes, than the Dutch, who are making good progress as they hit the halfway point in this race, a length up. What an advert for Henley Royal Regatta these pictures are. It's just the most perfect summer's day here in, across the UK. On the centre court at Wimbledon, 50 miles from here. Yesterday it got up to 41 degrees apparently, whilst Andy Murray was in action. I don't think it'll be quite that hot, but it's going to be pretty much the hottest day of the year here at Henley.
Yeah, and I think these guys will be very pleased that they're actually racing at this time in the morning, because you've got to know with Henley it's a knockout competition. I guess just like Wimbledon, as you've mentioned it, that these crews will race each day, so a win today puts you through to a race tomorrow. But certainly as an athlete, you want to get the race done, get it done first thing in the day like this, and then be able to take some time and recover. They'll get themselves back, they'll get fluid on board, because today certainly they'll have had an early start. And this is probably for this Laga crew a nice little advantage for them to get the race done today, unless Oxford Brookes C can do something pretty spectacular here as they come down towards the Roeivereeniging club. But you can see from that board there with the number 1 and 2 on it, but as they passed a 3/4 mile, there was a length of clear water between the crews. That board's a fantastic traditional Henley thing that demonstrates the crew in lane 1 is over a length clear, or just about a length clear of the crew in lane 2, being the Brookes station.
One of the many traditions, so the Dutch with maximum recovery time. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves. Actually, Oxford Brookes have had a good couple of 100 metres there, and they've kept in touch. You're right, it would take something spectacular either from Oxford Brookes or from the Dutch, I suppose, on the negative side.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the Laga crew there is about 36, trying to keep it going rather than going for any big sort of sprint for the line. But let's see. Let's take a look now. I didn't get my rate quite right there. No, probably at about 35 strokes a minute. I think they're probably hoping they're not going to have to sprint it into the line. 35 strokes a minute might be the sort of rate that crews would expect to do through the middle. And now hitting the enclosed, if they really need it, they'll hope they've got somewhere to go. And it's Brookes now who've got to give it absolutely everything, as they are looking to sprint it on. Pick up the pace there. I'm getting them about 38, and they'll be looking to get up to 40 strokes a minute. Seeing the signs going up there on the mile and the 8th, Laga is still clear.
Brookes in their sunglasses, not enjoying these drooling conditions because they have still a length to make up on the Dutch D.S.R. Laga, and they have conserved some energy in front of the grandstand, and that's good news for them later on in the 5 days.
That's right, I've still got them about 35 strokes a minute, the Laga crew here, as the Cox takes a look over her right shoulder. I'm sure they'll be hoping they've still got something in the can for tomorrow. What a beautiful shot that is, seeing inside the boat as it comes past there. And in the early morning, they're getting a good round of applause. They come past that tree that tells you you're just coming into your final effort. Pretty much in the big races, close your eyes. You've got less than 10 strokes to get to the line, and Laga go through there.
A welcome sight for every crew, and well done to the D.S.R. Laga 8, who are safely through the first round of the Temple, beating Oxford Brookes University, led by a length for most of the mile and a bit course here at Henley Royal Regatta. D.S.R. Laga, the Dutch crew, safely through to the second round.